Why have you so quickly turned aside from the way?
I met a gentleman who told me how I might be rid of this burden I carry.
But you have read the words in the book. Those words are alive and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword. How shall we escape if we neglect so great a salvation?
I have sinned. I have sinned.
Be not faithless, pilgrim, like those who walk the broad road to destruction. Remember, the just shall live by faith. Worldly wise men try to bring eternal condemnation upon you. First, he turned you from the way, from the one who is the way, the truth, and the life. Second, he tried to make the cross an offense to you. The preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness. But to those who would escape destruction, pilgrim, the preaching of the cross is the power of God unto salvation.
Is there any hope for me? Can I still find the gate of which you told me?
Yes, pilgrim, you may yet find the way. You may escape the fires of judgment. So may anyone who will heed the message of the book.
Hi everyone, this is Yahunatan, and before we continue with this message, I would like to give some words to the Father for you to hear today. Father in heaven, we need you today, yet there are so many stumbling blocks in our path. We follow the ways of the world. We do what they tell us, and we listen to them more than you. This is what we do on a daily occurrence, but let us take this day to focus on you and to remove whatever is in our ways, that we may connect and relate with each other. We ask this in the name of your Son. We ask this in the name of those who seek your name. Please be with us today. In your name, so be it. This video message is something that came at, together at the moment. And it's been a busy last couple of weeks. Know that the people in our group, the four of us, have been really busy with things. And know that all these situations are showing us something. It's many people will walk and do what they're doing, and they don't listen to what's going on, what the situation is teaching. You see, the Father can speak to us in many, many different ways. You can hear him through your Father's words. You can hear him through the scriptures. You can hear him in those moments where you need refuge. You can see it outside when you talk to your friends or watch a movie clip or listen to a piece of music. Something will reside in you, and something will click and come together. What happened just recently is this person didn't know what to talk about, but certain situations came together which formed this message, and this is how this person allows these voices, allows the voice of the Father to come in and speak, to remove the self, because it's when that situation comes when we remove ourselves, we remove our fleshly portion and set that aside and actually listen to what the Father is saying. And in this case, it was many different situations. Was fixing a video from a video series earlier called the relationship video, and that relationship video is a very powerful video. Was very glad to record it, and it had some really great things. Also know that there was a clip that was just watched of Tom Deckard about spiritual warfare. Just played a little bit of it, heard it before, and that really got on me. And then the situation of Yosef and what we're going through, and just health in general, and then was reading the scriptures of 1 Corinthians, and notice this part that just really got to me, especially when looking at our name, Swordfire. Looking at the sword and how it goes through the fire, how it goes through that flame, that tempering, that trial, that burning, that clearing up of whatever, sin, corruption, iniquity, call it what you will, but is that trash, that stumbling block, those things in the way which get us in our own world and separates us from the Father. You see, in this background right now is a closet, and many of us have skeletons in this closet, okay? And some of us seek that secret chamber, right? That place like a closet we can go to and have comfort and privacy and seeking an intimate relationship with the Father. But when we have skeletons in the closet, when we allow certain vices to get in the way, when we are not able to forgive our brothers and sisters, it says in the scriptures that the Father will not see you unless you have forgiven your brothers and sisters first. Then he will come to you. It's amazing how many situations in our world has stopped us from seeking the Father. Our personal vanities, but not just that, things we have not taken the time to forgive. We've gone through different situations, and we'll have arguments, heated debates, and then move to the next thing. You see, and we don't seek forgiveness in that. And what that does is haunt us. It haunts us from what we're supposed to do. It's something that plagues us, and believe it or not, it affects us in a healthy, and affects our health. It affects our spirit. There's people that have so many issues with cancer, and just basic, just things that you never heard of before. And these situations that cause that, just the anxiety and the stress, unnecessary. If we were able to forgive our brothers and sisters, if we were able to let go of the things that have plagued us and stopped us from fulfilling our destiny. See, the Father says to remove those things. Okay, it's not just the external things, it's the internal things. Let me this person give an example to you. Just some weeks ago was speaking to Yosef or Joseph, and we was dealing with something, and it didn't really, I've known this person for 10 years, and we've really had a good relationship, but the situation happened and didn't realize it bothered this person as much as it did. And it had to do with the situation of sharing my contact number, my phone number with him, because there was a situation before that led to some anxiety, led to a bad situation, and thought that was resolved. But when it came up in this person's spirit, knew it wasn't resolved. So came to my brother. It was hard to do, but not just talk about, but resolve it. Resolve the situation and bring peace to the parties involved. And by doing that, it allowed that situation to just disappear. It doesn't come up again. And because that's one less thing that has been removed, right? The splinter that has been removed from this person. I remember it says in the script, Yeshua says, remove that splinter, not just the splinter, the plank, right? He really points it out. There's this plank in your eye. You need to be removed. It's so obvious. And you should be able to see it. Remove that. Remove that from your eye, so that you can help those who have splinters in their eyes.
Can the blind lead the blind? Shall they not both fall into the ditch? The disciple is not above his master, but everyone that is perfect shall be as his master. And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but perceivest not the beam that is in thine own eye? Either how canst thou say to thy brother, Brother, let me pull out the mote that is in thine eye, when thou thyself beholdest not the beam that is in thine own eye? Thou hypocrite, cast out first the beam out of thine own eye, and then shalt thou see clearly to pull out the mote that is in thy brother's eye. For a good tree bringeth not forth corrupt fruit, neither doth a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. For every tree is known by his own fruit.
Confrontations with your siblings, with your mother and father, with some authority figure. What can you do to rectify those situations? Not just you, but when they're pointed out, what are you going to do to fix those issues? Because if you really seek the Father, you'll take care of those issues. And the healing will begin when you remove that. Okay? And it's so important. It's so important today to look at what was going on in our lives right now. I think a lot of us sometimes get busy with the world's activities because it stops us from focusing on things we need to take care of. It's easy to get all caught up in an action and do it over and over because it keeps us away from thinking about what we really need to take care of. We'll focus, for example, on doing certain chores. No, this happens in many houses, including this person's houses. We'll get stuck on focusing on the simple chores that we can do over and over again. Yet we'll keep a blind's eye away from the situations, the real tasks that we need to take care of, the elephants in the room, right? And no, we need to take care of those things. This person works with the help desk, and no, it's very easy to do those simple things, but when it comes to those bigger issues, it's very easy to point the finger at someone else and not take care of it. But what can we do to take care of those things that we will not be plagued by those stumbling blocks? There's many skeletons in many people's closets. Yet we need a place of prayer. We need a place where we can come down and humble ourselves and seek the Father face to face, but He's not going to come and speak to us unless we remove those stumbling blocks so that is preventing His words to come to us. That sword needs to be tried in that fire. The fire is the Spirit. And the Spirit can only enter into those that have removed the plagues, spiritual plagues, from our lives. We can only do this from the Father. The Father is the only one who can cleanse us, but we must be willing to do what it takes to clean out those temples. Because the Father, as it says in Corinthians, will not come into a defiled temple. The temple has to be cleansed. The temple has to be purified. Our bodies are the temple of the living Elohim, of the living Word that needs to partake in us for us to fulfill our roles and purpose. Some of these words can be spoken over and over again, but it's very simple. This person could have looked at different commentaries and different things and try to come up with this all-powerful message, a lecture sort of thing, and really impressed you with facts and forms of evidence. But really the evidence is in your own personal lives today. You see it around you. It's just that most people don't want to look at it. It's like those elephants in the room. It's those skeletons in the closet we failed to clean up. We're putting the dirt right. We're sweeping it under a rug. And was looking at that and just mentioning that so many of us want to build these tall monuments. But as far as the real issues, we sweep that under the rug. It's time to reveal that dirt under the rug. Unearth that dirt, remove that, and really know that you are clean. You can't do it on your own. You need the Father's strength to do this. And his flame, his spirit will come when we've tried our swords in his fire. In his fire, he will allow us to be cleansed again. The sword is the word of the Spirit, and his fire is the flame that ignites it. We need to be willing vessels where the Spirit can enter and become one with him, because once the flame has come within us, we can speak, we can heal. He will do it for us, because as it says, Shaul says, he says, many people go to this person and that person. You go to me, you go to a man, right? And you say that he's the worker of this, right? He's the initial person that's created all this, and we should look to this person for everything. I had a last conversation with Yosef about this, and said, you might be looking to a person a little too much. You're looking to me, you're looking to someone else. Stop looking at the person and look at the Father within them. Look at the Spirit within them. What is it telling you? Okay, don't be focused on a person and say, well, this person's doing this, you're not giving me opportunity. The thing is, clean up your lives. You guys, clean up your lives. Remove the skeletons from your closet. And so many people will say, well, I have no need of anything, right? There's nothing I need, that needs to be cleaned. But the law teaches us. The law teaches us that when you really take the time and really seek the situations within your lives, you're going to find how dirty, you're going to find how naked you really are. That's what the law does. It points out that filthiness. And we need to take that opportunity to really look and see, my goodness sakes, this is really an issue. This is really an issue. There are things where this person needs to take care of. There's think it was all good, or it's not my problem, it's your problem, or they have the problem, this person doesn't have the problem. Look, there's a problem. There's a problem. You can either be hypocritical about it, or you can release it. Allow the Father to cleanse it, and pray and say, Father, there's some things this person has said that this person regrets, even to my parents, to my mom. And no, it was at a spur of a moment, yes, but it points to something deeper. Father, help that whatever stumbling block it is, help that to be removed so we can be healed, so we can go forward. It's not people that are preventing us from what we need to do. It's our own plagues that are preventing us. Let these plagues be removed and allow your Spirit to enter us so we can fulfill our destiny and speak up. Okay, Yosef, it's time to speak up. This person, people listen to this person, not just because of this person, because of the words that are given. It's the manna that is given. And when a person comes and seeks relationship with these people and touches these people, they're going to want to be connected. Yosef, seek to be that same refuge. But you got to have a place that people can go to. You got to clean up the house, right? I remember we were talking about things that might need to be cleaned up. Remember that air conditioner or heater? I believe it was a heater that had issues, and the dirt, and it just needed to be cleaned up. It was about time, and it was a huge inconvenience, but sometimes things have to be broken down in order for it to be healed properly. Just like we were talking about in the previous video, sometimes the leg has to be broken again for it to be healed and be used effectively, because we don't think it is an issue. We don't hear the squeaky wheel, so we think it's not an issue, right? We turn off the signs, we turn off the signals from the car. What this does, okay, is create a situation where we think everything's all right and good when it really isn't. It's time to clean up the house. It's time to remove the skeletons from this closet and remove the vices from our lives. This has so much to do with health. Okay, what is the Spirit, right? The Spirit breathes, it gives us life. Okay, what is the air you're breathing today? Is it pure? Is it able to, are you able to breathe in the life that Yah has given you? We take it for granted. We put things in our bodies that should not be there. It's time to get cleaned up. Remove the things in our bodies, not just in a physical manner, but spiritual. There are things, that there are things all of us are eating right now, even while this video is being created, while you're watching this, that you should not put in your bodies. And we have things here and there, we have plentiful amount of these foods that are all around us, and it's easy to partake in those things. But what is it doing to our temple? And how is it preventing us from hearing the words, the spiritual words, the manna that is required of us to actually fulfill our purpose at this time? Are we listening? Are we partaking in the ways of the Spirit? How can we? If we allowed our temples, our bodies to be plagued with all this junk, with all this unnecessary stuff that we put in, that the body's trying to cleanse, but we need to do our part, okay? Instead of throwing more into it where it doesn't belong, let's start removing. Let's start cleansing ourselves, and it starts spiritually. But it will also affect the physical realm, because you realize your body's not your own, that you are a servant of the King, and He has given you words to speak. And even though people might not see it right now, people may not praise your words, okay? You speak it because you're being told to. And yes, it can be embarrassing, but you say it anyways because you know it's the right thing. You know you're being told to do this. Yosef once said in a last conversation, he said, "How do you know the Father is speaking to you?" You know because you listen. But how can you listen? When you start removing the plagues within your life and become a willing vessel, you will hear Him. You will hear His voice speaking to you. Okay, it's beyond a physical voice. It's beyond a still small voice. He will speak to you not just in words, in sounds, in pictures. He'll speak to you in moving pictures. That's what this reality is. It's a moving picture. We're partaking in this story we call life. We're interacting with others. It's teaching us something. It's not just teaching us something, it's teaching everyone who is watching us. What is going on here is we're in a theater. Are we going to be prepared to know our role and what to say if we're not paying attention? If we're not hearing the call of the director, how will we know our cue? If we're not taking the time to read the script, okay, and it's beyond a book here. It's something more than that. It's the words that are coming alive. It's the words clicking, where the actor and the script come together, and the actor realizes the role that person is supposed to play, and does it effectively, does it at the right moment, does it with the right gestures, does it with a loud voice that people can hear and can be affected, and it teaches something. The director listens to it, is happy, enjoys it, okay? And instead of doing another cut of it, knows this is it. This is the final cut. This is what it's all about. It's this moment in time. You have fulfilled it. We are meant to be at that point. But until we have removed the plagues, the vices, the iniquities, those things that have stopped us from doing what we're meant to do, we're not going to hear the Father's voice. We're not going to know when to act. We're going to go to this person and say and ask them, well, how do you know what to do? Do you tell us when to go? We'll do what you say. Listen to the Father's voice. It's a personal relationship. Watched a video recently of Johannes Huss, and what he went through, and how he taught that the people can seek a personal relationship with the Father. And that really got to people. That put him in prison. That executed him. Because he spoke the truth. That's what it was in the script. For these people to seek the Father and to seek that relationship. To have that secret place. Not have to go to a building, right? They would, when he was convicted, was about to go on trial, they closed his church. Okay, and people would complain because they thought that was their only refuge in order to be saved, or whether it was marriages or forgiveness or whatever. People were like, well, we have to have this building, or we're locked, we're bound up. Look, don't seek those sort of things. The temple is here. Let's get that cleaned up. Let's seek His words, and let's listen to Him. Father, we've done some crazy things. We have so many skeletons in our closets today. And we're so busy doing the daily tasks that we've been told in this world, yet ignoring the elephants in the rooms. Ignoring those situations in our past that created animosity, anxiety, and pain. And thinking just because we walked away from it, we're away from it. But it's still within our hearts. It's still within our spirits. We need to be cleaned of these things. We need to live again for you. Help us, Yah. Help us, Yah, to give us strength and purpose again to go back to forgive our brothers and sisters at this time, so that we can seek your face and do what we're called to do. There are people right now who think you just need to take an elixir or a pill and everything gets better. It's a daily commitment. Okay, it's just like health, it's a daily decision that's made that you're going to do what's right. And you're going to focus on these things. You're going to deny certain pleasures. And you're going to look at and see those pleasures are going to lead me to the grave sooner rather than later. We need to take care of those things. We need to start making the decisions today, no matter how small, to remove the leaven from our lives, that we can be healed again, that the Spirit can enter within us, that the skeletons of our closets can be cleaned up, removed and taken, so we can have fellowship with Him. This is what it's about. Health is so much more than just the physical food. It's about spiritual truths that we have forgotten, especially today. We need to focus on that elephant. And we need to be humbled and take care of that issue. Inspect yourselves, just as a lamb, right? Just as a lamb needs to be inspected. Inspect your hearts. Inspect your spirit. And know that it is time. It is time to take care of this once and for all. All of you. You know there's things to take care of. Instead of being ignorant about it, let's take care of it. And when it has been taken care of, and you ask for the Father and you seek Him, He will speak to you. And it may not be a convenient time, it may be inconvenient, but you'll be ready. You'll be ready. And then when the cue comes, you'll know what to do. Anyways, another message here. Yahunatan, of course, was not the name on my birth certificate, yet it is the spiritual name this person was given. And know that the focus is on the Father. That's why Yah is at the beginning part of the name. That when this person takes that mantle, it's about Him. It's about His words. It's Yah being this gracious, this most intimate gift that can be given to those who really seek Him. That's what these words are about. And that's how this person can speak with such authority in these videos. It's because this person has decided to remove the self and allow the Father at this moment in time to speak. Let Him speak. Speak loud and plainly to those who need to hear Him at this time. Anyways, this is Yahunatan. Looking forward to more videos in the future. For now, today, may you take care. And may these issues be resolved in your life. Seek Him. Seek the Father. Thank you.